Hello everyone, we are back with the Goodacres. I know, you thought we were done with the Goodacres. I thought so too. I was really happy to move on. I was getting ready to do the land grabs next. I got all of my CC together and the collection folders for the bank and the city hall and all the other land grabby owned businesses. But I kept looking at the Goodacre Farm and all of the hood deco around it, and I really just wanted to have real trees and crops and things around the property since they're supposed to be, the biggest farm in the hood. All of the produce is supposed to come from their farm, and it didn't really look like a huge farm, I ended up creating 5 lots for them. There's an apple and cherry orchard. That's what we're building right now. An orange and peach orchard that is a copy and paste version of this lot. I didn't record that because it's basically the same lot. There's a lemon orchard, a pear orchard, and a pond with a swimmable lake. The swimmable lake. So all of the lots are made to look like they're all connected together, connected to each other. Like the Goodacres could walk out of their backyard barn area and walk right out onto the pond, or you could be in the lemon orchard and there's a walkway that you could take to the orange and the peach orchard, even though that's not how it really works. That the Sims will enter and exit through the correct portals on the sides, but it just gives the illusion that it's easy to walk through. All of the lots are owned by Owen, but other Sims can visit the lots. There's nothing to sell per se. They're not for-profit lots. It's just places to hang out. The lots are really more for appearances than anything else, except the pond, which you'll see when we get to it. It has a lot of functionality to that lot. The apple and the cherry orchard only has apple trees and cherry trees. Shocking, I know. I put them together only because they're both red. I like uniformity. The apple trees are the Max's orchard trees, and the cherry trees are from Isarth on Mod the Sims, and they're part of a Plantable Orchard Trees mod by Lamar. And I'll add the links below for you guys like I do always. As I'm placing the trees, I'm giving them a little turnaround so they won't be all facing in the same direction and looking the same. I'm just using the floor tiles as guides so I know where to place all of the trees. I'll use terrain paint to add soil underneath the trees later on to make them look more natural. And I placed all the apple trees on one side of the lot and all of the cherry trees on the other side. I added a little fair banner at the entrance to the 2 orchards that face the street, just to reinforce that all of the Sims are welcome to stop by. When I was young, there were a lot of orange groves that you could just stop by and it was free to enter, and you could picnic there and buy homemade items like jam and baked goods and such. And so that's the kind of vibe I wanted for these lots. I also built a little shed/outhouse on this lot. I tried my best to model it after the little cottages found in Henford-on-Bagley in the Cottage Living Sims 4 pack. I'll stick a little photo here so you can see which ones I'm talking about. It's not exactly to scale of the little cottages because there wasn't enough room to make it that big, but I think it still has the spirit of those cottages. It's very cute. And I add a little water tower behind the shed. I put it on a little platform so it could get a bit of height. And then I decorate it with distressed wood floors and walls. Around the trees, I add ladders to give the illusion of Sims climbing to the top of the trees to pick the fruit. Around the shed, I place crates and fruit just to give it the little fruit stand vibe I was going for. These aren't for sale, they're just to add to the look of the stand. And then I was looking all over for a tractor. I really thought that I already had one, but I think it was just the hood deco tractor. So I found this cute one, which is a Sims 3 to Sims 2 conversion. And I don't know how I missed this one, but it even has like a little slot on the seat area. So I put like a little gnome there, like to look like he's driving the tractor around. And I downloaded a mod by Morsha. I think that's how they say their name. And it makes it so that you can place only one ladybug house on the lot, and it'll cover, 50 tiles. So basically the whole lot. So that's amazing. If you have a lot of gardening Sims, you really need that mod, because who wants to keep placing down all those stupid ladybug houses everywhere? Inside the shed are gardening supplies, a sink, and a bucket that works as a bathroom. We're very fancy at this orchard. We have a bucket bathroom. All the lots have the bathroom buckets, as I like to call them, except for the pond, where the pond has like a proper outhouse, because I figure more Sims are going to end up showing up to the pond because there's so much to do there. I also add little bales of hay that the Sims could sit on, and then I add the produce packing station from Sim Wardrobe. The station lets you take the fruits and the veggies that you harvest and pack them into crates so the Sims can sell the whole crates. There's even one for ice arts crops as well. And again, I'll put those links down below. So the packing station for Ice Earth is on the cherry side, and then the Sim Wardrobe one, the Max's one, is on the apple side. And with all the links, I think I'm thinking of adding a board on my Pinterest that has all the links to the CC I mentioned in the videos, just so it's easier for me to find them. If I do make that board before I put out this video, I'll put a link to that below. Originally, I added a picnic basket and a picnic blanket on the lot, which I thought was really cute. But when I tested the lot, all of the visitors went straight to the picnic basket to eat, and they made a huge mess, leaving plates all over the place that Owen had to pick up. So I didn't like that, so I just took them all away. I might add them to another lot though, because I really like the way they look. They look really cute. And just a tip from me, I like to add a lot of terrain paint to the outdoor spaces. I think it gives it a lot of depth, and it makes more sense than just seeing a whole sea of green grass with no variation at all. So I add dirt everywhere, even to places that might not have dirt. I think it just adds to the look and makes it look nicer. And these are just the visitor controller, the sim blender, and the ACR adjuster that I add to every lot. And I just turn them into rose bushes, but I can't do it until the sim is actually on the lot. I also cheated a bit and made all of the trees harvestable. So my idea is that this could be like a community type garden where the visiting Sims can come and they can grab fruit right off the trees if they wanted to. So the trees that I originally had on the farm lot are now gone, and I replaced it with this big tree, and I put the little tire swing on the tree, so it's more of a playground for the kids now. In order to make the trees harvestable, you need a sim with a gold badge in gardening, which Owen has, and you just shift click on the tree and click make harvestable and then go live. Sometimes you have to click a few times to get it to work though. It's a little stubborn. But as long as you have a gold gardening badge, oh, and you have to have the testing cheats enabled on. As long as you have all of that, then you should be able to make the trees harvestable. Now we're working on the pear orchard. Like I said before, the lemon and the pear orchards are the same layout, so I only recorded this version. And to the right, you can see the apple and the cherry lot. And I make the little walkways that give the impression that they connect to the other lots. I really like it. I think it's really cute. So my goal was to pair up the lemons and pears on one lot, like I did with the other fruit trees on their respective lots, and then have a lot of just fruit and veggie lots. But I really just wanted fruit trees all around the farm, so I separated the lemons onto one lot and the pears onto another lot. If I was really planning ahead, I would have just put the apples on one lot and the oranges on one lot and mix up the lemons and the peaches and the cherries and the pears. Because in my head, apple orchards and like orange groves are the most common to find. So you would need more of those as opposed to the lemons and the peaches and the cherries and, and the pears. But you know, it's like too late now to change them, so it's fine. I'm fine with it. And it's pretty much just decorated like the other lot. I don't add the little shed on these lots, but there's the bathroom bucket and the tractor and the ladders near the trees and the hay to sit on and all that good stuff. Again, it's a pretty boring lot for visitors, but it's more for the aesthetics than for the Sims to have fun. And I do twist the trees around so they're not all facing the same way, but I don't think I do it on camera. Okay, so the pond. The pond was not fun to build. This part that ends up in the video was like the 800,000th time I did it. Like, it literally was not working for me. My main issue was Okay, if anyone has ever tried to build one of these things, you'll understand what I'm saying, hopefully. So there's a part where you take the floor tiles in the pond and you put a column down, and part of it is sticking out of the water, and you level the column to the deck that's on top of the floor tiles in the water. But I kept not getting that floor tiling indicator thingy from the column, so I could drag the column to the deck. So I just had to keep adding the stairs and moving the column around until it finally gave me the stupid floor tile indicator. It was so annoying. So anyway, here's your swimmable pond, everyone. And I swear I did this before a long time ago and I had no issues. And I used the same tutorial and everything. I'll put the link to the tutorial down below, or it's going to be in the Pinterest link, whatever I end up doing. I don't know what I was doing wrong at all. And I'm not trying to talk anybody out of trying to build a swimmable pond or lake or anything like that, because it ended up like really, really pretty. It's absolutely beautiful, but it was just really hard for me for some reason, for no reason. What I will say is that in the tutorial, they tell you to place a column and place a floor tile on the column and then dig down into the pond until the floor tile is covered with water. But when I tested it out, the Sims weren't swimming above the water. They were swimming under the water. So I raised up the column one click above the water, and it worked for me. They were swimming with their heads above the water line. I'm using a column from Marcus's repository pack, which is the full wall height, and it helped me figure out the tile placement better than the Max's columns. Those are a little bit shorter for some reason, but this one being the full wall height helped me a lot better. Okay, so this is what I was talking about when I said the column didn't make the tile spot indicator at the top. I don't know if you saw it just there, but it didn't do it. Also vital to the pond build are the invisible floor tile from Catherine TCJD, Mutilda's invisible floor edge, and Moochie's floor shader. That's the only way to make the floor tiles that you have to place for the Sims to be able to swim. That's the only way to make all of those invisible. So you're going to see a shadow below where the floor tiles have been placed, but it's hardly noticeable, and it's better in my opinion than seeing the tile edge all of the time and having to cover it up with something. I wanted my pond to be more brown and green as opposed to the pretty blue that it normally is. So I'm using a pond overlay that was originally made by John119 on Mod The Sims, but I recolored it to Pineapple Forest's pond water tint. The mesh that Pineapple Forest has for the tint is too small for how big I made my pond, but I just copy and pasted it to do a recolor on the bigger mesh. On the deck, I originally wanted a stone kind of a look to it, so I used some of these big boulders and the nooks and niches stair covers to make it, stone-like. But I didn't really like the way it was looking, so I went with a more weathered wood look and some rock walls from the Enchanted by Nature conversions. I always want to say Naughty by Nature instead of Enchanted by Nature. Anyways, I recolored the nooks and niches with the rock wall from the Naughty by Nature, and I used it here on the deck. I left all of the stone stuff in the video though, so you could see how I set up the deck. The foundation with the deck on it and the deck on the pond floor tiles have to be set up at these heights in order for the swimming functionality to work. I really like the worn wood look better than the stone. I think it blends better in the woodsy forest background than the stone would have. I have to say though that I found some photos of Henford and Bagley, and there are some really pretty stone deco in the hood that really needs to be converted to The Sims 2. I definitely need to learn how to convert stuff myself because like they would look really, really good in my hood and, you know, this lot especially. One of the reasons why I wanted a swimmable pond is because Eve, the eldest Goodacre daughter, has fitness as her one true hobby. And I wanted her sub-hobby to be swimming. I didn't want to add a pool to the farm because there's so much going on already. And also I think, at least for me, the pool tiles cause a lot of strain on the graphics card. Like if I start building a pool, my card's fan will turn on and start screaming at me. So with all of the deco and CC on that lot, I didn't want to risk adding pool tiles in there too, even on Linux. Maybe if I had a stronger video card, it would be fine, but I'm not going to chance it. So if Eve wants to go swimming, she could go into the backyard pond instead. Another thing I did with the nooks and niches set was I covered up the decking with the short flower borders, and the poles in the water that didn't really go to the bottom of the pond are covered with skinny columns, and I'm using that rocky wall again. And the Naughty by Nature rocky wall is converted by T. Vicky Sims, so I forgot to say that. And now I'm decorating around the pond. I wanted it to look lush and have a lot of trees and grass and wildflowers. I wanted it to look like the Goodacres didn't really touch it too much. They just cleared a bit so they can add their touch to the pond. One of the things that I don't know if you noticed it or not is that this lot has no road. I placed the lot down in the hood and then moved it behind the farm with lot adjuster. And then I used lot adjuster again to remove the road. So there's no car portals for this lot, so I'm just gonna have to remember that the Sims can't drive here. I used the portal revealer object from Simlogical and grabbed the pedestrian portals and placed them at the two walkways leading to either the lemon orchard or the pear orchard. And I didn't place a portal leading to the farm because I thought it would look weird for visitors to just walk into the Goodacres backyard. I'm decorating the pond with lots of algae and duckweed and flowers and cat-o'-nine-tails just to muck it up a bit. Some of the items are on the invisible floor tiles, that's why they appear lighter than the rest of the pond deco. The Sims have no problem diving into the pond, and I tested all 4 of the diving boards and they can get out using the ladders, so I'm glad that I got it working okay. I made a little fountain area on one side using some rocks and the Holy Simile rock fountain. Again, I need more 4-2 rocks. Or at least the texture of the Sims 4 rocks put on rocks already made. I tried to do it myself and it ended up looking really silly. But, you know, maybe somebody out there would be able to do it and make it look nice. But right now these rocks look fine. I think they work pretty well. And here I add some picnic benches and a grill for when everyone gets hungry after swimming all day. In this part of the video, I forgot to add the picnic chairs that you have to put on the benches in order for the Sims to sit down and eat. But I added it later when I was playtesting and I noticed that they weren't there. Here I'm adding a little fishing spot for the Sims. It's supposed to look like it's a little deck. They can fish from, you know, any spot on the pond, but I thought it'd be cute to have like a designated fishing spot. One of the other things I wanted to use this lot for was for my nature hobbyist children. Since Owen is at the top of his nature hobby and he's a family Sim, I wanted him to lead the scouts for the hood. In my hood, the Scouts program is for child age kids and teens, and they either have to have nature as their one true hobby or have 5 or more nature enthusiasm to be Scouts. Simmy Mom has this amazingly thorough Llama Scouts mod that I'll be using in the hood. And I tried to incorporate some of the badges she has for the kids to earn on this lot. So there's fishing, gardening, they can catch bugs, that kind of thing. I don't have everything on the lot that pertains to the Llama Scout badges. Just the things that I think would make sense for like the pond area. But I do plan on having Owen be the scout leader and have scout meetings at the pond. Right now there's only 2 kids that meet the criteria for scouts, but once they age up there'll be a few more. There's probably gonna be about 7 or so. Also back there, I placed a wedding arch. So it's an anvil on a tree stump, but you can use it for wedding ceremonies. I just placed it in case someone wanted to get married on the pond, because I thought it would be like a really pretty ceremony if they did. And then here's the cute little swans. I'm using the animated OMSPs from Pineapple Forest, and it makes them float around on the pond. And now that I think of it, I probably should have put like the lily pads and stuff on floating OMSPs too to make them float as well, because that would have been really cool. But okay, it's too late now, but I'll think about it. Here I add the little Llama Scout board where when he meets with the kiddos, they can talk about scouts and which badges they need to earn. Like they can all meet up in their little scout uniforms and he'll go over the board and they'll talk about which badges they need to work on, and then while they're there at the pond, they can work on some of the badges. And then I'm just adding detail with little wildflowers and grass. And I add these cute little stone pavers because they're cute. And the finishing touch is dirt. Or, terrain painting around the objects, whatever you want to call it. And you may have noticed that I'm not using Voyel's water mod, the one that makes the water have ripples and looks like the ocean water from Castaway Stories. And I really like that mod. It looks really good in other people's games. I even had it for a while myself, but I kind of like how my water looks without it. I have a reflection mod that is part of Lazy Duchess's RPC, I think anyway. And I think I have a mod for clearer water also. And I think like the ponds in the ocean, I think they look good without it. And then also I don't have to add a pool tile around the lot. So that makes me happy. Me and my graphics card happy. So I don't really think I need it, but let me know what you guys think. And that's about it for the video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to see more detailed photos of the build, please check out my website or my Tumblr linked below. And I will see you in the next one. Later.
Fab, Lushid. Whoop.
Oh, Bladadere, parbles. Gavabla, blada. Zebula, bada. Ella blip, blip.
Souffle.
Kabla na, kabla. Ziblam, ziblam.